なんで？急にじゃない？やばい、マジ停電。おお、ちょいやばいよ。自宅にそれから今から出かけようとしてたんですけども、その時地震が、どうでしたか？どんなぐらいか？今もちょっとずっと続いているような状況ですよね。建物などに、何か倒れたりとか、そうした被害はありましたか？よかったよかった。ごめんなさい。やばいやばいやばい。おお。ちょい。やばい。吓死人！下がんで。よし。上危ないからすぐ出て。
A powerful earthquake struck Kumamoto Prefecture on the southern island of Kyushu, Japan on Tuesday afternoon, July 28, 2026. The tremor, registered at a magnitude of 7.1, according to the Japan Meteorological Agency, JMA, occurred at approximately 4:27 p.m. local time and was felt strongly across much of Kyushu. The epicenter was located south of Kumamoto City at a relatively shallow depth, resulting in intense shaking that caused widespread damage. Within seconds of the quake, emergency sirens sounded across the city. Residents in homes, shopping malls, offices, and public facilities rushed out into open areas. The powerful tremors caused buildings to sway violently, windows to shatter, ceilings to collapse, and several walls to develop serious cracks. Footage from surveillance cameras and residents' mobile phones revealed panic as the earthquake shook the urban area. Japanese authorities issued a tsunami warning as a precautionary measure due to the earthquake's significant strength. However, after monitoring sea levels and further analysis, the warning was lifted as no dangerous tsunami waves were detected threatening coastal areas. However, the public is still asked to stay away from damaged buildings and follow the directions of officials during the evacuation process. The most severe damage was reported in several areas of Kumamoto Prefecture. Roads were cracked, several bridges had to be closed for inspection, and landslides were reported in hilly areas. Power was cut off to tens of thousands of homes, while water and communication services were disrupted in several cities. Transportation routes were also significantly affected, including the temporary suspension of the Kyushu Shinkansen bullet train service to ensure the safety of the track before it resumed operation. One of the primary areas of concern for rescue teams was the Aeon Mall shopping center in Kumamoto Prefecture. The building suffered severe damage after an explosion suspected to be related to a gas leak following the earthquake. Part of the structure collapsed, trapping several people inside. Firefighters, police, and the Japan Self-Defense Forces were immediately deployed to search for victims using heavy equipment, search cameras, and sniffer dogs. Rescue operations continued non-stop as reports of people still remained unaccounted for. The death toll continued to rise as the evacuation process continued. As of Wednesday, July 29, 2026, at least a dozen people were reported dead and dozens more injured, some of whom were in critical condition. Thousands of residents were forced to flee to temporary shelters because their homes were damaged or feared unsafe to live in. Local governments opened hundreds of evacuation centers equipped with basic necessities, such as food, drinking water, blankets, and emergency medical services. Amidst rescue efforts, Japan also faced the threat of aftershocks. The Japan Meteorological Agency reported hundreds of aftershocks of varying strengths since the main earthquake. Experts explained that aftershocks are a common phenomenon after large earthquakes, especially in regions with high tectonic activity like Japan. Residents were urged to remain vigilant as aftershocks have the potential to cause already damaged buildings to collapse and trigger landslides in mountainous areas. The Japanese Prime Minister expressed his condolences to the families of the victims and emphasized that the central government is mobilizing all available resources to expedite the rescue process. Thousands of Japan's self-defense force personnel, police, firefighters, medical personnel, and volunteers were deployed to the affected areas. The primary focus now is finding trapped victims, providing assistance to evacuees, and restoring essential services such as electricity, clean water, and transportation. The earthquake also impacted Japan's economic activity. Several semiconductor, automotive, and electronics factories in Kyushu temporarily halted operations to inspect building conditions and ensure worker safety. Several major companies, including Toyota, Sony, Honda, Renesas, and TSMC, reportedly temporarily halted production due to power outages, facility inspections, and logistical issues following the earthquake. These temporary closures are expected to impact industrial supply chains for the next few days.